Very excited. One of my favorite properties, The Tick. And this is the third time where we have the opportunity to talk to somebody I really admire, Ben Edlund. We talked to in San Diego. You walked by our booth last year in New York, and we just waved you over, and you came over and was like, hey, what's going on?
You're like, I don't mind. I'll come hang.
Come hang. We had Rob Paulson there, too, so it was like a weird meeting of the worlds.
Right, that's cool.
So we're back here. Everyone's really anticipating season 2.
Yep.
We don't know a date. Is it at least done? Like, have everything shot?
Well, basically, everything's shot.
Okay.
Everything's cut, and now we're just putting the special effects and doing the sort of sound mix and those kind of finishing details. So, yeah, we're on schedule. It's...
I think they were saying spring 2019.
It's basically March is what we're talking about. So now we'll get a more specific date and then trumpet it. But that's the idea right now.
Awesome.
How glad were you to see the positive response by bringing The Tick back after so long? The Fox property was great, but didn't last that long. No. Now the re-imaging again for Amazon, that first half of the season was gangbusters.
Cool, thank you. No, it was really great to have people accept it, because that was definitely introducing a new organ to the body. Like it could have been rejected.
Yeah.
You know, so those were concerns, but I think it worked in part because my primary goal was to just make its own thing and try to make a new, not get worried too much about any one person's considerations and just make what the story said it wanted it to be at this time. And it feels like, I mean, we're just blessed with a great cast, blessed with like a lot of support from Amazon and Sony, and are able to do something we weren't able to quite pull off in the previous live action.
Yeah, and The Tick is such a big world too. That like there's so much story you can tell, and that's what's really great about it. And the characters and the villains and everyone is just so unique that you don't find in a lot of other comic book properties. And the cool thing is, like, I live in Williamsburg in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, so I see you guys shooting all the time. And there was one day I woke up in a drunken stupor, and there was a spaceship in the middle of McCarran Park, and I was like, "What happened last night?"
You saw the crash.
Yeah, I saw the crash.
Awesome.
And it was awesome. And then they were like, "Get out of the shot," and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like,
sorry, but you crashed a ship in my neighborhood. So
like, was I Rick last night? What happened? But it was really cool.
Can't believe I didn't hear that. No, I'm like, and thank you for your patience.
Oh yeah,
because we were all over like Queens and Brooklyn and Manhattan to some degree. But that was one of the most fun moments we had. I felt was bringing a big piece of set out into the real world, a spaceship. It made the crew excited. It made everybody excited.
It was awesome.
Because not a lot of stuff's practically done anymore, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
With the success of season 1, now, as you were saying, you're getting ready to finish wrapping up production for season 2. Was there more freedom this time around to go a little crazier, go a little weirder, a little wider with what you could do? It's like, okay, we established the show. We took care of everything that was important. It was successful. We have season 2. Now we can have some fun. We have a bit more breathing room to add more stuff in.
Absolutely. Like, that's exactly how it felt. Like, the first season was very much a binary story between Arthur, the Tick, and the Terror, and everyone that fell into that story. Mm-hmm. And this one is more like in the real sort of, we're up and running now. It's not that there's one big bad, it's that there's just a lot of shit going on. Yeah. And the bureaucracy and real life mundanity, but also world building. So we bring our version of, essentially our version of a very popular governmental agency known well in comics.
Yeah.
But like our version comes in and gets to be a really big part of this season, and that's been a lot of fun because we really got to build Aegis, which is our homeland security for superheroes kind of place, and that was exciting. We brought new supervillains, new heroes come in. We got to do, I think, more of the stuff that's idiosyncratic and sort of individually weird sort of moments of inspiration, because we got our storytelling, that first laying down of the law, out of the way.
Have you been receiving requests from people that maybe are fans of the property and said, hey, I'm an actor, I'm a comedian, I'm something, I kind of would like to do a role on the show?
More, it's become more easy, and I mean, like, we do have, basically, like, we're really, we always are fighting to make the world as sort of give it as much scope as possible, which means we actually have almost never enough money for anything. And we're really like begging a lot of the way. So like, when
you ever notice their scenery for the horizon is just graffiti in Brooklyn? It's just brick walls.
It's just one guy moving with the background over and over. Like
we've got one flat.
Yeah.
Move the flat.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like you're just always, because you want to go over that next mountain and you want to do this cool thing, and you know, we've got a lot of interesting things going down. So when it came to having a guest cast, we really depended on goodwill and really like people loving the project. And that worked out.
No, I was gonna say like I think the coolest thing is like the Tick outfit and like how articulated you got everything, like, and using practical effects. Like, was that hard to design that and get that made?
Yes.
Or like
that's really if you haven't talked to Peter yet, he'll tell you more. But like it is technically, it was like I didn't realize the degree to which we were making basically the creature from the Black Lagoon, but a funny version where the guy could go to the bathroom, hopefully, in between cuts, right? Like, technically speaking, engineering-wise, this was an extremely challenging adventure. And, you know, the new season has a new Tick suit, and the new Tick suit is so much better, so much more...
Is that explained, or is it one of those classic Tick things where there's just something new and everybody seems to know why it's there, but the audience doesn't?
We explain it and don't explain it at all.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's exactly right, like exactly that. And it's much more disturbing that we explain it, and we explain it much worse than just like looking away. It didn't happen. It's far worse, I think.
Well, we're...
but it's fun. So yeah, that's really fun. And that's, I think, also though, like the Ticks always had this weird obsession with continuity. So like in the cartoon, it was the moon with Chairface's
Chippendale,
vandalism on it, and here, like, we will not let go the fact that the costume changes. That's happening, so it's happening.
Okay.
I don't know why. We could also ignore it, but we refuse to.
That's awesome.
Well, I can't wait. Last question before you go. Merchandising. For the first run of the Tick, I mean, I know Funko had the pop for the Tick.
Yeah.
Didn't see too much more than that. Can we see more stuff coming out for season 2?
I would like it. I mean, we've got some cool costumes, I understand, from Ruby's costumes.
Okay.
They're on the floor now. But we didn't see a tremendous amount. What we desperately want, I think, is an Arthur Funko pop.
Yes.
Just to round out
that.
The set.
Maybe some cool shirts too.
Well, absolutely, that would be good too.
Yeah. Well, so, if anybody can make it happen, you seem to be the guy to talk to. So
I could do more.
That seems to be the whole premise of the show, the Tick. We could do more. Question mark. But it's not
never
answered.
arrives.
All right, we're out of time. Ben Edlund, thank you for being so cool to us over the years.
Yes,
thank you for coming and talking.
Thank you for paying attention.
Can't wait for season 2. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Hey, hi.
Hello,
how's it going?
sir.
How you doing?
Eric.
I'm Brian. Hi, Eric.
Brian, Eric.
Yes.
Hi.
That's a cool shirt.
Thanks. It's Michael Kupperman. Do you know him?
I do not.
He's got this comic, Tales Designed to Thrizzle. Snake and Bacon was his old comic. He's like an unsung genius that needs to be sung more.
Yeah.
Well, sing his praises into the microphone there.
Yeah, Michael Kupperman. Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like a screenshot from like that Mitchell and Webb look, like, you know, like a sketch comedy show. Like.
Yeah. Well, I guess like I like it because it sort of. I think about this often. This panel. It's like from a comic that was made up of like fake covers, comic book covers, you know. And I love this. Was my favorite because it sums up like how like when like I don't know if you write like creatively, like when I write sometimes like I think that is a great idea, and then like ideas are kind of worth nothing unless you work on them, or you have to develop them. But like anyone can have an idea. Right. That's why I love the waiting for adventure. Like, all right, what do we do? You know.
Peter Serafinowicz, Witch or Wits? I heard you correcting somebody down the line. Witch. You do pronounce it Witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I in the car on the way here, we were running late, and the driver rang the entrance of Comic-Con. Said, "I have Peter Servino." Right? You know, and it's like. I don't care about my name at all, right? It's like I'd go crazy if
As long as you get the pizza, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Siri calls me. Okay, pizza. I'll check that for you. And so he said, yeah, I have Peter Servino. And she said, Peter Servino? She's on the speakerphone. And I, from the back seat, said, it's Serafinowicz. He said, oh, Serafinowicz. And then there was a pause, and then the lady said, okay, I got it. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Seriously. And like I've heard many variations of my name, but that was the first.
Let's dive into season 2, and then I know Gil's had a question for you. We just spoke with Ben Edlund.
Yeah.
He's told us to talk to you or ask you about the suit for season 2.
Oh yeah.
He said
okay.
There's some changes. They explain some things. They don't explain other things. But he said you could give us more detail about what's new with the suit for season 2.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, crippled my body in a different way. It looks great. The suit looks really cool. It was designed by this guy Jose Fernandez, who's like his company Ironhead. Oh my God, they make like. They made like the Ben Affleck's Batman suit, which I tried on, right?
Was that cool?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did it fit? Was it a little snug? Or,
Well,
I feel like you're a little taller than Affleck.
Yeah, you're a tall guy. How does that work?
He's actually, I think we're the same height.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I've never met him, but it was cool trying that. Like it's on display as you walk in. And also like the Daft Punk helmets.
Oh yeah,
so cool.
Like any cool thing you can think of, he's done this. You know, so he designed this thing. It looks way more like realistic. It doesn't have like the exoskeletal bits on it. It's like the muscles kind of move, are constructed in a way that when I move my arms, the muscles move in a similar way to like how your actual muscles move.
Right.
So
Cool.
it sort of it looks great. You know, it looks.
And function better for you.
Yeah, it's still, you know, it's like a common problem for people who play superheroes. I'm thinking of starting like a support group, right? But like, it's, you know, ultimately, there are only so many improvements that you can do.
Right.
You're in a suit.
Well, the most important improvement, can you go to the bathroom easier?
No.
No. All right.
But I can kind of jump around and stuff. I can move my head, which I couldn't do in the previous.
Yeah, you always had to do that stiff turn. Yeah.
Stiff turn. Oh no, I'm just a big fan of yours through
Thanks,
through
man.
Spaced and Black Books
Nice.
and like Shaun of the Dead and John Wick. Like so. Are you going to be in John Wick 3 by any chance?
Well, I don't know
As a sommelier?
because I hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't been approached, as they say, which I always find is a weird way of. It's like somebody approaching you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's kind of.
I got this action movie. You got guns? Like I do.
But I loved doing that. That was like I got this call saying from my agent saying, can you be in Rome tomorrow night to do a scene with Keanu Reeves in the new John Wick movie? I was like, yes. And I felt it made me feel like I was a spy or something. Do you know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
drop everything. You've got to go and And he was amazing.
How great would it have been if Peter just said, could you move it to Monday? Yeah. I'm kind of doing something tomorrow.
Well, it's interesting because I didn't know you were in the movie. And then as soon as I saw you, me and my friends were like, it's Dwayne Benzie. Dwayne Benzie is John Wick. It's so good.
No. So I'd love to be. I haven't been. Yeah, I haven't been asked yet, but yeah, we'll see. I guess.
So what can we expect out of season 2 with the Tick?
It's really cool. It's like knows what it is a bit more, you know. It's like it's not as frenetic. It's not like it doesn't have that. It doesn't start. It starts off with like, okay, we've got rid of the terror, and now it's like we're doing the day-to-day job of being superheroes and dealing with life, and like, you know, the Tick is he's at his best when there's like a crisis or a big battle or got to save some people from a plane crashing or whatever. But like he's got to deal with the normal everyday stuff, which is harder to do. It's as hard and harder to do.
Those are some of the best properties of being the Tick is the day-to-day stuff, but also when the Tick is bored, he annoys everybody.
Oh, he's so
where
annoying,
everybody else was like, I've been working all week, I want a weekend where I'm doing nothing, but the second everything stops, the Tick is just driving everyone crazy, and then it becomes even more funnier.
He is. He'd be a really good friend. It's like I see him as like I'd like him as a friend, but he would really annoy me as well sometimes. He's and there are moments where he's a bit like a dog as well, like a big dog, which I liked. I like playing those. And I love that he just he's got that, like what a dog has, its unconditional love for its owner.
You can do no wrong in their eyes.
And that's how he feels about Arthur. It's just...
You're blowing my mind because I never thought to think of the Tick as a dog, but it makes so much more sense with his mentality. It's like that dog's just happy to be wherever he is.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you're throwing the ball, that's all he wants.
When I read the pilot script, it was like the thing that really got me was like all he wanted was Arthur to be his friend.
Yeah.
And like I've got 2 kids and they're in school and like friendships and this kid doesn't like me and these are being mean to me, and it's like I remember that myself, and it's like, and it doesn't just stop in school, it's but like for so that was the big thing for me. It was this sort of, it's like a love story, please, I just love you, please let me love you,
just love me back.
Love me back.
Peter, thank you so much for your time.
Awesome.
Enjoy the rest of the New York Comic Con, and we can't wait for season 2.
Thanks. I hope you'll really enjoy it. I've seen a few episodes in it, and I think it's great.
Continuing on with Press for the Tick here at New York Comic Con, we're finally getting a chance to talk to Griffin Newman. We missed you out in San Diego for the premiere. I got everybody else, but you had to run off and do something, so
save the world.
I don't know what it was.
This was last summer you're talking about?
Right before the premiere.
Okay.
So 2017?
Yeah.
And now we get a chance to talk to you. Here you are, and I have nothing to ask. No, I'm kidding. I'm glad that there's so many things to talk to you about, but first off, who and what is on your shoes?
It's Vin Diesel.
That's what we thought. Okay.
It's Vin Diesel. He's my spirit animal. So it's sort of like a wolf moon painting, but with Vin Diesel and a wolf.
I didn't know if they were Diesel shoes with a Vin Diesel, like a Vin Diesel Diesel.
They're
like
not. They're not.
Thing.
It's Brandon Bird, who's like a great artist who does a lot of pop culture work. Sells these on his site. Big plug for him. He's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Because we're seeing you move down the line. We're like, I can't tell. And then as you got closer, Brian goes, I think that's Vin Diesel.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. I'm a big like WWVD guy.
Yeah.
Which is, what would Vin do?
That's
awesome. Sort of my guiding principle in life,
Well, you're at home here at Comic Con, right? You're into all this stuff. Have you gone to cons in a non-professional capacity?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember skipping the big end of school year 8th grade party when I'm sure everyone was going to make out and have half a beer for the first time.
Yeah.
Right.
To get in a car with my friend and drive up to Wizard World Philadelphia. I was like, this is like my victory lap for the end of a school year.
We're the cool kids now.
Yeah. No, I've been going to cons my whole life. It's very bizarre to be on the other side of these things that I know so well and that I've sort of studied so much.
Are you walking the floor? Have you been recognized at all? Or?
I walked the floor yesterday and on Friday, and I think everyone around me always says, like, you can't do it, you're going to be mobbed. And I think they don't count on how much I do not carry myself like someone who should be recognized.
Yeah.
I have such slumpy posture, and I keep my head down, and I walk fast, and it's not a defensive, precautionary measure thing. It's how I walk, that I genuinely go unnoticed most of the time. occasionally I'll lock eyes with someone and then they'll come up and I'll sort of try to keep moving.
Just to walk around
yeah.
with the helmet and like secretly put it on for a second, then take it off.
Right,
and, like,
right. I have the
am
costume
him.
in my bag in case I have to use it, but so far I've been pretty good. Yeah.
People on the floor are like, is that Griffin Newman? No, man, look how miserable that
Right,
guy
that's
is.
honestly what it is. Griffin Newman would take better care of himself
He'd be
than
so
that.
happy. He's on the
Yes,
tick.
right.
He's got the cartoon.
He
president
looks
show.
so worn out. Yeah, so tired.
I think he just looks like the
so
guy.
stressed. I think that's. I genuinely. I went to I was at a bakery getting like a cup of coffee, and the guy said, "Hey, have you seen the new version of the Tick?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "So you probably get that a lot, right?"
Yeah.
And he thought there was no chance I was actually the guy, and just kept on asking me questions like, "So do you get stopped a lot, and people think you're him?" And like,
That is
I had to
awesome.
eventually say like, "I am the guy."
How great would it be if he was just making small talk, like he was going to recommend the show to you to watch?
I thought he was being an asshole and like making the joke of like, I'm pretending this is random small talk, wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Right, and it turned out that he was just like, well, you look a lot like the guy, but there's no way the guy would look this bad in real life, you know?
Well, let's talk about when you're not looking bad,
Sure.
and that's as Arthur on the Tick. Going into season 2, we talked to Ben, we talked to Peter, we talked a lot about the Tick's new suit. Are there any adjustments to the Arthur suit for season 2?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are practical things. I mean, the visual differences I think will be pretty subtle because we didn't try to reinvent the wheel. I mean, the Tick, it's an in-story point
Right.
that he is sort of evolving or devolving or molting. In one direction, he's changing form, you know? And ostensibly my costume stays the same, but, you know, after season 1, we learned a lot about what makes it hard to act and what looks weird on camera and all these things. So I have my laundry list of notes, and a lot of them are internal. You know, they're how it feels on my body more than how it looks on the outside, but hopefully translates to a better performance.
Well, so I can imagine like some pieces being clunkier. If you have to run, you're like, oh, this doesn't work at all.
Right. So
Like,
you
what do
start
I
to
do?
learn like where can we lose padding, where can we gain padding, how do we make the eyes line up a little more with my goggles.
Can I
you
maybe
know?
request like reflective strips at night so cars aren't going to hit me?
Sure,
You know?
things like that.
Smear
Yeah.
on the windshield.
Yeah.
Speaking of season 2, what can you tell us from the Arthur point of view for season 2? What's happening with Arthur? What's happening with Dot?
I mean, I think it's us trying to move into this world of being legitimate heroes now, you know? I mean, we were kind of, not wannabes, but we were on the outskirts just doing our best, and now we've sort of become somewhat legitimate.
You're kind of a big deal in the city now.
Yeah, which means that we're, you know, we've caught the eye of all the groups and the other superheroes who are coming out of retirement. And so Arthur and the Tick, you know, when our show started, it's in a world where superheroes have kind of been outlawed and living on the fringes and not really at large. Arthur as a kid grew up idolizing them, but now they're sort of these outlaw vigilantes. And partially because of them beating the terror, getting good press and all these things, the superheroes start to come out of the shadows and the S.H.I.E.L.D.-like organizations start up again. And now Arthur and the Tick have to deal with the bureaucracy of a real industry, you know? They don't gain the power of being the only superheroes out there anymore. Now we have to compete with people who are a lot more experienced.
Sorry, we can't put you on this. We have this guy on. It's like, oh, but I triple stamped it.
Exactly.
I have the affidavit. Like, I should be able
You
to
joke.
do this.
There's a lot of paperwork this season.
I'll
It's
tell
a
you-
lot about that.
I'll tell you what it is. They've gone corporate.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
We're trying to figure out if we can exist in the corporate world.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
Got it right? All right.
it's not worth the paperwork.
Yes.
Well, we're running out of time here, Griffin. Thank you so much for
Thank you
taking
so
the
much. I
time.
got to come on the show sometime
Please
too.
do.
Yes,
We're
I
in
would love
Jersey.
to.
We're in New York.
Yes.
Even if you
I'm
wanna
here in the
Skype
city.
Just
yeah.
do it.
No, I'd love to come in the studio.
Please
yes.
do. All right, we'll see you next time, Griffin. Because we
Fantastic.
got to still talk about merch at one point.
Oh,
and the
we
lack
can
of
have
Arthur
a
presence.
very long conversation about that.
We'll get to that. Thank you.